Hi, my name is Ryan.
And my name is LaShawn.
Welcome back to the Marriage Moments. Well, we got a good question that came up again this week.
The question is online dating or cheating considered cheating when you're married?
That's a good one they threw in there. Because we already know. Yes, it
if
is
you have
cheating.
to ask the question, the answer is yes.
For real. I mean, bottom line reality, no matter how you cut water, it's water. We could freeze it, we could boil it, or we could do the regular steam. It's still water. So if you're looking online and you're cheating, you're cheating. If you're looking at pictures, you're cheating. If you're, what else is there? Another thing that's out there that you're not doing.
Oh my gosh. We had a couple some years back, who were really struggling in their marriage. The wife was, involved in a virtual reality, virtual life or my second life or, it's really amazing how much time and effort that she spent into building an alternate reality and eventually began to pull away from her natural family. She had beautiful children. She had a husband. She had a good job. But unfortunately, she allowed her mind to, get away from her. She was literally cheating. She had another life, another, life that, I don't know. It was just...
No, I mean, the tripped out part about that, her mind fell into a vortex.
It did. It's almost like an alternate reality for real.
Yeah. And then whereas the alternate reality becomes your reality. Just like with porn. We talked about that last week.
Same difference.
You looking at porn and no matter look how much satisfaction that you get trying to get out of it, it's still a fantasy that's activated up here in the imagination. And for that young lady that went through that, it was sad because she lost her family, her kids, everything because of the second world. She began to cheat. And a lot of people don't realize how powerful that is. That is
absolutely
powerful, man.
And it was sad because I think she had really kind of set up a way to meet the person on the other end of that, because there are other people that are involved in these, virtual lives, and she sought out to meet them. And I think her heart was really disappointed when she tried to meet her husband and found out her husband was not a man, but it was a woman. I'm just saying, a mind is a terrible thing to waste. Remember the commercial when we were little? And look, a mind is a terrible thing to waste. And the Bible says, to guard our hearts and our minds, and take every thought captive into the obedience of Christ. We have to be careful what we allow our lives to entertain and our minds to entertain. And if you look at a woman, the Bible says to lust upon her, you've already committed adultery.
Right.
And if you sin in one, you sin up. We're not making one thing bigger than the other, but the reality is we have to be careful.
Right. And then whereas we both have to realize on to know our limits. Because some things we just can't really look into or we can't experiment or even dapper. Because what happened when we begin to do that, our minds is subject to that thing.
And we get drawn away by our own lust. So it's important that we make sure that we guard our hearts and our minds. And really stay in your word, stay protected, keep good people around you. And don't try to sneak, because whatever's done in the dark, if it's not of God, it's going to be brought to light.
Right. And for you singles, don't listen to what people be trying to say, saying it's okay to have a second life. It's not okay to have a second life.
Get your real life right
for
first.
For real. I mean, think about it. It's hard enough already trying to find a good spouse. It's hard enough to find good people. Why create something and destroy your own self with a fantasy?
And a possibility of you having amazing real life relationships.
Right.
I'm just saying.
Right. And I'm glad you said that because you brought something back in my mind. Think about it for a second. All the time that you're building the fantasy world, how much more effort can you do in building with a real person?
Absolutely.
I mean, for examples, the singles, when you're building a life, what you want to do, you want to have preparations, you want to have steps, prevent on how, if somebody cheat on you or you've been hurt in the past, not to take that or focus it on something else that's a fantasy. But what you want to do, you want to take it and deal with that thing. And even married couples, same thing too, If you feel those urges that you need to create fantasy, don't do it. Trust me. A marriage is worth working on.
It is.
And not only is it worth working
every
on.
relationship is going to take work, whether it's virtual, whether it's, you have to put time and energy. Put time and energy in the real ones. But we just want to encourage you. You can have what you want.
Right.
I believe that. I believe everything can be fixed. I believe our hearts can lead us to things, though. if we draw upon the wickedness in our heart into places of darkness that it's hard to crawl back out of.
Right.
So,
and another thing too that we want to leave a point with you, in every relationship, and to be honest, it's just like a regular work, like a 9 to 5. You got to work your relationship. Just don't put it on autopilot, whether you're single or married.
Right.
You got to work for
on it.
real in order to be successful, in order to achieve. You got to work on it. Well, that's all we're going to have for today. We thank you for so much, and thank you for that question too. I mean, these
Good
questions are good.
questions.
Yeah. And just keep it coming, and we don't care. There's no question that is too hard that we can't handle, because we like that. We roll like that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's my road dog right here. You know, we be doing it, yeah. So just be sure to hit us back at songsofsolomonri.com.
or on Facebook at Songs of Solomon Relationship Institute. See you later. Peace.
Although in peace with no hair grease.